AWS started in 2006, and we started because we developed a core competence in running a large-scale compute workload, which is Amazon.com. And since then we've innovated a huge amount over the last 10 years almost in a number of services, whether they be compute, storage, data analytics, and all these sort of types of things. So I think there's a couple of key areas in which we're helping in this space. The first is helping cities do the heavy lifting around line of business applications. So there's a huge kind of potential back office problem where they're looking at ERP systems and these types of tools and capability which we can host on our platform, very cost effective, and there are a number of different ways of consuming those types of tools and techniques as well. But also the citizen related services as well. So we've developed tools such as big data analytics, mobile services, IoT services, compute service, and these types of things where perhaps cities want to deliver some sort of citizen experience, journey planning, IoT, and these sort of things. So I think those are the two kind of key prongs, if you like, the kind of the back end, but also the collaboration and citizen engagement piece as well. That's the kind of two that I see. To give you a couple of examples, we work with TfL, so tfl.gov.uk runs on AWS. They have a number of very sort of peaky workloads, so when it's snowing or when there's tube problems, obviously they can scale up their infrastructure to meet that demand, only paying for what they use, no more, no less. They do a number of journey planning and those types of applications. But also we work with city councils as well. So Peterborough City Council, for example, has deployed weather stations across the city, and this is using our Lambda service to send sensor information back to the cloud and then analyse it and see what the effects of the weather are on learning outcomes, because the weather station is deployed in schools. So kind of another interesting angle there as well. So two key areas, I think.
I think Bristol has a vision that we don't want to just buy a platform, we want to be a platform. And I think what that means for us is that things join up at the level of the city. So many of the challenges and the opportunities that exist fit best together at city scale. If you think about what we need to do in order to be a successful economy, but at the same time look after the most vulnerable people. If you think about what we need to do to keep the traffic flowing around the city, but also at the same time reduce carbon emissions. All of those things exist best at city scale, and therefore seeing the council's role not just to directly tackle all of those things through our direct intervention, but to be the convener of a platform which is very information rich, open, accessible, dynamic, constantly updated. If the council is playing that facilitation role, then it allows many people and many players within the city to be part of delivering those sorts of solutions. So I think the council sees itself as the convener, the honest broker, if you like, of all of those different data interests in order to try and create something that works economically, environmentally, and socially.
For us, obviously, the business case was very important. It was very important for us to understand what we needed to put up to Amazon in terms of all of the different servers and things that we needed to move. So we needed to come up with a big spreadsheet, work out all the things we needed to do. And then it was a case of working out the costs associated with those. So for each of those, there's a cost in terms of what size it needs to be, how long it needs to run for. So we kind of went through and worked out all of those numbers to see what the number came to at the end, to see whether actually it's going to be less than it was before. There was a lot of other factors as well in terms of procurement around actually was everybody happy that we were going to be moving to it. So once we'd done the numbers look through, the next big decision, which I talked about in the presentation, was around actually depending on how long the servers are running for, that will impact the cost directly, the longer you have to pay for them. So we put those things together, and because we could run some of the services for chunks of days, not for the whole time, we were able to justify it. So we had a business case, 3-year return on investment for that.